across his face. Every conversation stopped. Workers froze. Customers turned to watch. His footsteps echoed across the warehouse floor. He stopped directly in front of Lina. His voice exploded through the building. "You've embarrassed me!" The entire warehouse fell silent. Lina opened her mouth to explain. "I've already accepted responsibility. I don't care. I've promised to repay everything. You've made me look like a fool." The workers stared helplessly. Some lowered their heads, others looked away, unable to watch. Lina spoke softly. "Please, let me explain. There is nothing worth hearing." The words struck harder than any slap. Even customers stood frozen in shock. No one had ever seen Daren so angry. Then, before anyone could react, he turned toward the security guards. "Lock her inside the inventory room." The guards hesitated. "Sir, did you hear me?" Neither man wanted to move. They both knew Lina had always treated everyone with kindness, but Daren was the owner. Slowly, they obeyed. Without resistance, Lina allowed herself to be led away. As the heavy metal door closed behind her, darkness filled the small room. Outside, the warehouse remained silent. No employee could find the courage to speak. And for the first time since Harbor Link trading had become successful, the woman who had carried the entire company on her shoulders sat alone in the darkness with nothing but her thoughts, and a memory that would soon change everything. At first, Lina cried, only once. A single tear rolled down her face before she wiped it away. She sat quietly on the cold concrete floor of the inventory room and listened to the silence around her. No phone, no food, no water. No one came to check on her. Hours passed. As darkness filled the room, memories slowly returned. She remembered the first supplier who had agreed to trust Harbor Link again because of her promise. She remembered carrying heavy boxes herself when workers failed to show up. She remembered staying awake through entire nights preparing reports before important meetings. She remembered paying workers from her own savings when the company had no money. She remembered selling her jewelry to keep the business alive. She remembered every customer who had become loyal because she treated them with honesty. Then another memory came, the international partnership, the contract. She could clearly remember the regional director saying, "You are our registered compliance representative." At the time, she had thought little of it. Now she understood its importance. She wasn't just Daren's wife, she wasn't just an employee. Legally, she represented Harbor Link in every international transaction. For the first time in years, Lina smiled. Not because she wanted revenge, but because she finally realized she still had something no one could take from her. The following morning, the inventory room door opened. The security guards looked ashamed. "We're sorry, madam." Lina stood up calmly. "It's all right." She walked back into the warehouse. No one dared look her in the eyes. The workers felt guilty. They had watched her humiliation without saying a word. Lina didn't blame them. Fear makes good people stay silent. She entered her office, packed the few belongings she had personally bought, and placed them neatly into a small box. A framed photograph of her late parents, a notebook filled with business ideas, a coffee mug with the words "Keep Going," a small flower vase, nothing else. Then she switched on her computer one last time. Patiently, she copied years of emails she had written, supplier negotiations, training manuals, inventory systems she had designed, customer appreciation letters, performance reports carrying her signature, records showing overtime she had never been paid for, messages proving she had personally solved major business crises. Everything was backed by dates, documents, and witnesses. She printed what she needed, saved digital copies, and closed the computer. Before leaving, she walked through the warehouse one final time. She smiled at every employee. "Thank you for everything." Some tried to apologize. She gently shook her head. "This isn't your burden." Without another word, Lina walked out of Harbor Link Trading. She never returned. For the first week, Daren celebrated. He laughed with friends. Now everyone will finally see who built this company. He hired another operations manager within days. The new manager looked confident, but confidence could not replace experience. On Monday morning, the first supplier refused to release goods. "We only deal with Madam Lina," he said. On Tuesday, 2 major customers canceled their orders after repeated delivery mistakes. By Wednesday, workers were arguing because no one understood the inventory system Lina had created. Every problem she had quietly solved for years began appearing all at once. Daren became frustrated. "Why is everything falling apart?" No one answered. The following week became even worse. The International Logistics Corporation sent an email requesting a compliance meeting before approving new shipments. Daren confidently replied that he would attend. Their response arrived within minutes. "According to our agreement, only the registered compliance representative may authorize international operations." That representative was Lina. Daren immediately called her. Her phone rang once before the call ended. He called again. No answer. Again. Nothing. Days later, banks requested operational documents that only Lina had prepared. Government auditors asked questions no one else could answer. Computer systems began failing because the people using them had never been trained properly. The warehouse that once ran like a perfectly tuned machine slowly descended into confusion. Employees started resigning. Customers quietly moved their business elsewhere. Suppliers stopped extending credit. Within a month, HarborLink had lost more business than it had gained in the previous year. Daren grew desperate. One afternoon, a courier delivered an official envelope to his office. Inside was a legal notice. It wasn't filled with threats. It wasn't demanding revenge. It simply listed facts: years of unpaid executive work, operational systems created by Lina, business procedures she had personally designed, documented contributions, contractual rights connected to the international partnership. Every statement was supported by evidence, emails, reports, signed records, witness statements. For the first time in his life, Daren realized something that left him speechless. Power did not belong to the loudest person in the room. It belonged to the person who had quietly done the work and kept the proof. He leaned back in his chair and looked around his office. It suddenly felt empty. The silence was heavier than any argument. Only then did he begin to understand what he had lost. Not just a wife, not just an employee. He had lost the very person who had built the foundation beneath everything he proudly called his empire.